But I saw Oblivion, and in this reimagining of Top Gun / sunglass commercial, Tom Cruise plays sci-fi amnesiac cliche Jack Harper, who joins / meets up with his former wife, woman who was in stuff that nobody cares, and they fight back with the last remaining humans, led by Morpheus, played by Morgan Freeman and Jamie Lannister.
You had too many slashes in the beginning. Made me think of Guns N' Roses.
Before I actually introduce this movie, you do know that Morgan Freeman wasn't Morpheus, right?
No, he was
kind of Morpheus.
Look at those sunglasses. That was
okay. I thought you were commenting on Morgan Freeman.
He was portraying a Morpheus.
He was
role.
portraying a character of Morpheus. God damn it, that joke worked on me.
You confused me.
He was wearing sunglasses and he's black. What more do you want for Morpheus?
He was smoking a cigar and he was being badass.
He wore a cape. He wore a cape.
I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember Morpheus.
That is one of the reasons why I was looking forward to this movie.
Calm down.
Was seeing Morgan Freeman.
I don't remember Morpheus wearing a cape, and I don't remember him smoking. So
what if I told you?
That makes it better.
Alright. I'm going to do the actual intro now. So we saw Oblivion. It is directed by Joseph Kosinski, who is the guy who did Tron Legacy, and otherwise I don't know what else he did. So, he did Tron Legacy.
Way to research.
You know what? I think Tron Legacy was his first movie, too. I think he maybe did some short stuff.
That was a good movie.
Videos, but
I like Tron Legacy.
I actually like Tron Legacy, too. It gets a lot of crap, but I actually like it. Okay. Well, we're not reviewing it.
It's got Jeff Bridges.
We're talking about Oblivion.
Yeah.
It stars Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, who did not play Morpheus, Olga Kurylenko, Andrea Riceborough, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, which I probably said wrong, but Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, you probably did say wrong.
And Melissa Leo, again, who was in Olympus Has Fallen, and I like how after she wins an Oscar, she just has these little throwaway parts.
Who was she in?
Was that the Sarah? Was it?
Sally. Yeah, Sally was Melissa Leo. So.
Alright, cool.
Alright, so anyways, on to the review.
Well, it was like basically a by-the-book science fiction movie. Pretty much spelled out. Like if you've read any science fiction book or any like the old... Like, and I guess this was based on a... It said based on an original story by someone. I think I'll tell you right now, there was nothing original about it.
It wasn't L. Ron Hubbard.
I think it said based on an original graphic novel by Joseph Kosinski, the guy who directed it.
Yeah.
I believe that's what the critics. And
in fair,
said.
There was nothing original about this story. It was a pretty like basic science fiction story plot line. And I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan. I just I don't care for him. And I think maybe if he wasn't in this movie, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. And I'll be honest, I don't like Tom Cruise, and I thought he just didn't really give that good of a performance in this, I thought. And just it was so basic of a movie.
Did you just not like Minority Report or
well, that's the thing, like Minority Report is another like science fiction movie where it's something that's been done before.
I really like Minority Report.
It's a good movie. It's a good story, but that's the thing. It's like another story that's been used before in other media, and like if you've seen it, because I'm a big fan of science fiction, and I've pretty much experienced a lot of these.
By other
before.
Media, do you mean books?
Books, yes, books, kid.
People don't read books.
Well, whatever. Books. Sportsmanship.
Yes.
So I mean, just this movie coming into it like. Pretty much had it figured out fairly beginning. There were a few little twists that I was like, I didn't see that coming. But all the same, it was just kind of a really generic science fiction movie. It had a really great music score. I'll give it that. I thought the music score, especially for like the science fiction media, like because that was like the basic. That's like the music of the science fiction media.
Still fairly certain that was the people.
It probably was, but all the same, like that music is based off. Science fiction.
But Mass Effect has good music too.
And it is. So I mean, it had a really good score. It had some good parts and some decent scenes. It's just, at the end of the day, I thought it was kind of like, I saw it. It was a little bit longer than I thought it should have been. But I could say that for every movie. But I mean, they could have wrapped up some of the stuff. I mean, they were trying to go for the like emotional human sort of stuff, but Tom Cruise just didn't really sell it for me, to be honest. And once everything was figured out, it was just kind of like a movie that I saw with some predictable plot elements, and the end was just kind of like, here we go, it's the end. And yeah, so not terrible, but kind of
just kind of mediocre.
That forgettable movie, not the worst movie, but I mean, I think Tom Cruise, his last few movies haven't they're just. I think he's on his way out. I'd say he's on his way out. I mean,
I don't know. Ghost Protocol did pretty good. So
it did pretty good, doesn't mean.
I mean, I'm saying that's a basis for whether he's on his way out.
I'm pretty sure he's. I don't think you can sell movies on Tom Cruise names alone or Tom Cruise's name alone. Which I think because there wasn't really anyone else in this movie other than Morgan Freeman, and he's in everything, so it doesn't really matter. So I think this movie was kind of it's a good science fiction premise, but I think they were trying to sell it with Tom Cruise, and I don't think he sold it. I really think.
Do you think that has to do with his beliefs and stuff, or do you think it's just people are sick of Tom Cruise?
I think people are sick of Tom Cruise, but maybe the beliefs or something. But I think most of it was just this was a pretty it seemed like a high budget movie.
No, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I just.
Maybe not immense.
Not immensely. It's not like Avatar.
I'm sure it was a decent budget.
And that's another thing. I'm kind of getting sick of the sci-fi opera, big seller movies. Avatar did it. Avatar kind of made all those records.
I think Avatar is a grossly overrated movie.
And it is. I think it is too. But I think Avatar broke a lot of records with the science fiction opera, space opera, thing. And
I didn't really think of it that way, but okay.
But I think it's just been people are still trying to cash in on this science fiction next big epic space movie thing. Let's make it 2 hours long. Let's throw in a lot of human drama stuff, and they just kind of miss a lot of points, and they kind of hit a lot of generic points that have been done in movies in the 80s. I can throw you a bunch of 70s movies, science fiction movies that had a lot of these plot elements that were just based off of short stories from science fiction books, and it would hit all these points, and it was interesting. I just think they're kind of rehashing a lot of stuff, and this just didn't do anything for me personally.
Okay.
I mean, I can see a lot of people who, don't spend a lot of their times watching shitty 70s movies on Netflix.
So most people?
I can see how most people would enjoy this movie. For me personally, it didn't really hit anything interesting for me. It was just kind of a science fiction movie. I appreciate it because it's not something you see in the theaters right now. There's a lot of, action movies. Right now we're doing just action movies and action movie, and maybe get a weird, thriller stuff, but this was kind of it's a lot of the same elements that were in movies before, but I haven't seen a lot of science fiction thriller type movies in the theaters in the last year or so that were like this. So I'll give it props for. It may have been rehashing some things, but at least it was bringing something that hasn't been done lately out. So I'll give it that. All the same, it just, to me, it was kind of a bland movie.
Okay. I'm probably going to be a little more positive than that. I actually liked this movie. When it comes down to it, it's fairly obvious, right? And it's twists and things like that. And especially if you've seen Moon. Which I guess gives away things if you've seen Moon, but if you haven't seen Moon, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. So,
and I didn't really see the parallels to Moon as the only person here. I think
lot. Yeah, that's true. Me and you are the only ones who've seen.
I didn't see a parallel to Moon, and I hadn't seen Moon.
You didn't, or you did?
I saw it, but I didn't see the movie.
But you didn't see Moon.
Yeah, but they're two different concepts.
Well, I don't want to go into that so much, but kind of. I thought of this movie as kind of Moon exaggerated upon. It takes some of the stuff of Moon, and then with Sam Rockwell, the Duncan Jones movie. In case nobody knows what I'm talking about when I just say Moon. So, all right. Anyways, it takes some of those ideas and expands upon them, and kind of throws in some other elements and some other things from other maybe sci-fi stories and stuff. So I know what you're saying in terms of it's kind of an amalgamation of ideas of sci-fi tropes and ideas and things like that. That being said, I think it's an interesting combination of that kind of stuff. I think, first of all, this is a very beautiful movie. The cinematography, the way it's shot.
No, visually it was pretty good.
Yeah. The cinematography, the way it's shot, everything like that makes pretty much the movie well worth it because of that. Because, you're seeing some beautifully rendered and creative stuff.
They didn't, take the whole... cliche. Oh, there's the Statue of Liberty, and here's.
They did for a split second. They
they showed
in there.
They showed it for a second. I'm just saying, there wasn't the iconic buildings. And
Like, this cavern he has to be passing through.
Kind of
Here's
like
the
Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
And like, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic movies that have done that sort of, like, here's this important thing.
Right.
Oh, it's falling over.
To show that they were still technically what was New York. You had your Empire State Building, you had your Brooklyn Bridge.
And they used them in interesting ways.
That's not what I was getting at. But anyways, the other thing is the design of everything.
Clever.
The design of everything. The ships and the towers and the, all that kind of stuff. It's really clean and sleek, and I liked it. It's kind of similar to Tron Legacy. Like some of this movie,
I do want to say,
you kind of get that feeling of this is the guy who did Tron
what
Legacy.
a terrible design the towers are. Like, if
What do you mean?
the towers,
It doesn't have to be complex. It's a
I'm
basic,
just saying,
simple.
like, if you were one of those like
I liked it. It's simplicity.
anti-tower people, they're just kind of on a strut.
Yeah.
They're busy blowing up all the important stuff, but if they
Okay.
really wanted, they could have just
So
like slapped the by.
Okay,
The second tower they showed was just on a strut. The first one
the house
was like
very
way above the
Jetsons-like.
clouds.
Well,
Yeah,
that one was very Jetsons-like, but all the
Yeah, it
same, you
depends
just
on-
pop one on the middle and that shit's tumbling.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm not talking about just that. His flying ship is awesome. The cool
Yeah, no,
fold-out
there was-
bike. The what is it? The Tet or whatever it's called.
The
What
Tet.
is it? Yeah,
Which I assume
everything's
is
simple and sleek.
Well,
and
Tetradon.
Put it this
I
way:
assume was
the
true.
tower is made of some super alloy that can't be blah blah.
I doubt
blah,
it.
blah,
They blew up their
The-
fucking fusion reactors.
the
I assume they can
drones,
blow up their
everything
fucking
has a simple, cohesive look to it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. I appreciated that. I don't think there's anything necessarily new here. I just think there's a lot of what we've seen kind of mixed together and done in an interesting sort of way. I didn't have a problem with Tom Cruise. I thought he was good. I don't have a problem with Tom Cruise. I actually usually like Tom Cruise movies.
Well, I'm sure as a man he would like you too.
I'm not going to say things like that, but
Well, it did fulfill his dream. Tom Cruise did have Tom Cruise's head in his own legs. He was wrapped his legs.
okay. I'm not going to say bad things about people I don't know. But anyways,
Well,
so
it's not wrong that he's,
aside from that, I am a sucker for sci-fi movies, though. So maybe
Tom Cruise is a sucker for men.
okay, maybe maybe my opinion of the movie is a little.
I got a million.
I don't know,
Keep
like
going.
leaning on one end, and
He's
there's-
leaning on one.
And what you were saying about there being not
Packing
sci-fi
my
movies.
fudge.
What you're saying about there not being any sci-fi movies in the theater right now, though, that's just because this is the first one. Like seriously.
Well, I know we got a lot of
There's
schedules.
a ton of sci-fi movies coming out this year.
I don't
and-
count Star Trek. I'll tell you that.
Okay,
right
well, I
now.
count Star Trek because it is a sci-fi movie, but
I won't count it because it's a Star Trek movie, and that's two different things. Star Trek is
but
above
we even
sci-fi.
Star Trek is
But
sci-fi.
we
It's
even-
above it.
We
How
even
so?
saw, shut the
Star
fuck
Trek.
up. We even saw the Elysium trailer before it. So you have that coming out. You got Gravity, which there was no trailer for yet. You have all sorts of things coming out this year. I think we talked about this. It's basically the year of sci-fi, and even movies aren't full sci-fi movies or somewhat sci-fi. But yeah, I liked it. I thought everything was worth the price of admission. I thought it was good. I thought the performances were fine. I thought everything was cool. I liked the kind of deliberate pace it had, where you said it was kind of slow and kind of long. I liked how deliberate it was. I liked the fact that this was a post-apocalyptic movie, but everything wasn't just dirty, usual, like Mad Max post-apocalyptic, like crazy like that. Everything was much cleaner and, open, and it was a different take on it to me. And that might not necessarily be your opinion, but that's, my view of it.
That's because I've read books.
Whatever. I don't know how you can see a book, but sure.
In your brain, Brian?
Yeah,
In your brain.
okay. So, anyways, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, Richard, what did you think of it?
So I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of it. Let's say it did seem to run a little long. I got a little bored with it, a little confused with the way some of the twists and turns went. I did kind of feel like my mind was a little raped there. I did enjoy, visually, like I said, it looked real well. It gave me the world gave me the vibe of like Fallout, but this is nowhere near anything of a video game.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
was gonna say I did enjoy, like I said, the Tom Cruise battling himself.
Yeah, okay. I love when we contradict each other. By the way, this is awesome.
Gives us a variety.
No, I know it's interesting. It's our own different takes on it. It's good. So you're saying Tom Cruise fighting himself?
Tom Cruise fighting himself, and I was like, okay.
He was trying to beat the gay away.
Wow, that almost derailed me here.
He tried to derail you in the pants.
Whoa. But anyway, I just know. Movie, in my opinion, it ran a little long. You know, I mean,
I think there's some anti-gay agenda.
Like I said, it looked nice. You know, we saw it on an ultra screen, so I guess that may have helped it out a little bit there. But yeah, I don't know. I just
didn't.
So you were confused by it.
I was.
It did not tickle
confused.
your fancy.
It didn't pop for you.
No, it did not.
It was a little too heady for you.
It was, yeah.
Heady?
Also, not Lena heady.
No. All right. Never mind.
Though, too, I do notice. I swear, from other pictures and things I've seen of Tom Cruise, like in the past, I swear the man never ages. There might be something to that Scientology.
Well, it's that and sunglasses. If you wear a lot of sunglasses.
Okay,
Tom Cruise loves.
Regardless of whatever Tom Cruise believes or whatever, in the end, I still
he believes that your soul is an.
I don't have a problem with him in movies. Like he can believe whatever he wants. I don't really care. But I still enjoy usually movies he does. I still think he's good in them. I don't. It doesn't affect me when I'm watching the movie.
Right. He's an actor. If he's a good actor, he can make me forget.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I don't go into it thinking about that kind of stuff either. But
I don't think about that.
I don't went into it thinking. I thought his performance just was kind of like.
Really?
He's kind of getting old. Let's be honest.
He's like 50.
He is 50.
Yeah.
All right, so
he turned 50 during production of this movie.
So I just he didn't seem like the young guy.
But I don't think he looks 50 either.
Well, all the same, I could see this if they got a younger guy to run this role and to do.
Right.
I could see a little bit more of a performance of someone younger doing this stuff.
You know what? Here.
And being more action oriented, being more emotional. He just seemed a lot of just kind of
okay, but in the context of the movie though, he's not supposed to be a young guy. He's like an astronaut.
He's not supposed to be 50.
I don't know if he's supposed to be 50, but I buy him
We're
as
supposed
like
to
a
suppose
upper
he's
30s,
not 50.
as like an upper 30s, lower 40s. I buy him as being that age. And I think that's supposed to be more of what it's supposed to be. I mean, he's like an astronaut and shit. I mean, it's not like he's a teenager.
How come he's supposed to be in his upper 30s, 40s, and his wife is clearly 20, whatever the fuck?
No, I buy her as being 30.
Well, here's the. I don't care about his age.
But she was an astronaut too.
So they have common interests. So.
I don't care about his age.
So he's 15 years older than her, and they're both astronauts. Is she smarter
than 15 years older, but
I would like to see another Mad Max movie with Mel Gibson as Mad Max. I don't give a shit how old he is, how anti-Semitic he is, how fucking crazy he's gone. I still want to see the movie.
I thought it was going to be Tom Hardy in the new Mad Max movie.
I didn't even know they were making one. But regardless.
Anyways, maybe that's news to you guys.
Anyway, I could have seen this role in someone younger, more oriented, because
I thought it was fine.
I don't know. Whenever Tom Cruise smiles, it just
in the end, the draw for this movie was never that it's Tom Cruise. It was
Morgan
the sci-fi.
Freeman. I understand.
My draw was Morgan Freeman.
It was the visuals. It was the visuals and the sci-fi of it that drew me. Not that it was Tom Cruise. Not that it was Morgan Freeman. Not that Joseph Kosinski directed it. It was that it was a sci-fi movie. That it looked interesting. It looked cool. Yeah.
To be fair, it did look interesting, and then I found Tom Cruise was in it.
From the trailer, though, too, I kind of thought the premise, I guess, was a little more different. I thought there was a little more of a battle between what would be the underground people, the survivors of Earth, who, were kind of like the underground, the resistance, the rebellion, versus the people in the clouds who were the superior people or whatever else.
You're talking about Elysium.
Yeah, we're getting that movie in the summer. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll watch that one later.
That's what you thought from watching the trailer?
From the trailer, that's kind of the premise that I got. And
okay, so you didn't really understand it from the trailer, even.
Right.
I saw the twist in the trailer.
So that kind of that explains more of why you're confused, I guess.
Well, no, I didn't remember the trailer. I didn't really care.
Or just commercials. I just enjoyed all of a sudden seeing Morgan Freeman in the dark lit the cigar. I'm just like, sup? I don't know. That was cool to me.
With the sunglasses, and he was holding the blue pill. And he had a cape on.
I don't see the Morpheus.
You don't see? He fucking had the sunglasses.
He's wearing goggles.
It was
that's
a very
not what Morpheus wore. Morpheus wore glasses without arms on them that went behind his ears. They were
that explains.
But look at it. Was like a human society. They're tricking him. He had sunglasses on.
They're the resistance.
He was the wise leader that remembered the way things were and all that kind of stuff. That was.
And are you telling me that's not what Morpheus was?
He was the leader that was that.
There are a lot of parallels between
led
Morpheus.
by faith.
I don't see any Matrix parallels in this movie.
Why do you trust him? I don't. I trust her. Faith.
And Jamie Lannister was there.
Yeah.
Which is good to see him not being a villain.
Anyway, Richard.
Jamie Lannister portrays Joey Pants.
No, he's
Any final thoughts?
He's like his lieutenant.
Joey Pants.
Joey Pants was a traitor. He was. Jamie
Lannister's a shit.
I guess walking into this with lots of confusion, I was kind of turned off by it. So I'm kind of the sayer of nay on this one.
Okay.
Sayer of nay.
Not for Richard.
So speaketh Kit.
Kit, your last one to go. Let's see what you think.
Was expecting a sci-fi movie, got a sci-fi movie.
Wow.
That was pretty much it.
And the end scenes.
Yeah, but
this is why it sucks to go last. We've said everything there is to say.
I haven't said anything. I have more so.
Hold on.
I got a list of things
He's
to say.
dropping bombs.
But the moon twist that you mentioned, I saw
Moon.
Never saw Moon.
Moon's an awesome movie.
But saw the trailer. Moon.
You should see
Moon. Go see
Moon. I'll see it eventually. I
He's
saw
a
Moon.
fucking liar. Kit's the biggest liar I've seen.
He's been saying that for years. I'll see it eventually. He's as bad as me, almost.
Yeah, almost.
No,
Except I don't own stuff that I haven't seen. Except for
he just doesn't buy things. You have them. You just don't want them.
Yeah. Like if I say I'm going to say it, if I'm going to say I'm going to say it, see it, I'll buy it. But yeah. The story seemed interesting to me. I mean, watching the trailer, the whole, okay, they already did the whole war with the aliens thing. It was, the aftermath and everything like that.
It was called the Battle for LA.
Of course, in the trailer alone, I kind of just went, okay, that's what's going to happen. It's barely even a spoiler, really, of what's going to happen. You could tell
I think the trailer kind of spoiled some stuff.
Yeah, you don't even need to, see the trailer to know what the spoiler is going to be. This is it. I was like, oh.
And
okay,
the major
figured that.
The major twist, Kit told me what he thought it was going to be in. Within 5 lines of the movie, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Josh didn't even remember the trailer.
I didn't really pay attention to the trailer, but when Kit was like, this is how it's going to be.
This is how it's going to be.
And I'm like, well, that seems a little bit in depth. Because I didn't remember what the movie was going to be about. And then 5 minutes or 5 lines in the trailer, I'm like, and then we send a team down. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay.
That was just the background.
I don't think.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Kit's right. That's the
background of the story. Josh got it.
Okay, here's the thing on what you're saying. I don't think it's necessarily that obvious. I mean, yes, there's definitely some obvious things about this movie, but it's not that obvious. Where 5 lines in, I'm going, I know exactly where all this is going. And
but the major twist of the movie.
Okay, here's the
thing. Which sets up the rest of it.
I went into this movie as I try to go into every movie I go to see, which is, I'm not going to think about if this is what's going to happen, if this is not what's going to happen, because I want to just take the movie for what it is.
So how's that work for G.I. Joe?
Don't get me wrong.
But here's what I'm saying.
Don't get me wrong.
Let me
fine.
Go with
and then I'm going.
You just challenged me.
I need to go and then I'm going. Go.
Okay. So, but what I'm saying is, the movies that are worse to me are the ones where I still know where everything is going, even though I'm not trying to think of where it's going. If it's that obvious, or if it's that stupid, or whatever, just a badly made movie, then yes, of course I'm going to figure it out. But I'm saying, if a movie can keep my attention without having me think about, oh, I know where this is going to go, then that's better. I'm trying to go into it with a fresh mind. I'm trying to go into it not going, I'm going to try to figure out what the ending is. I'm going to try to figure out what the twist is. I'm going to try to figure out what happens. Because I don't want to watch a movie that way. Because that's then distracting me from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, that's just what I'm saying. And what you're saying about G.I. Joe then, well, G.I. Joe was just a bad movie. So it's different in that sense, in that it wasn't holding my attention. It was, and it was obvious for different reasons. It wasn't that there was like some giant twist that I was like, oh, I know this G.I. Joe twist is coming. Okay, the best example I can give is Secret Window, the Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah.
Right? Within a few minutes, or 5-10 minutes, whatever the movie, I knew what the ending was. Not because I wanted to know what the ending was, but because I love Fight Club. And I realized that it's exactly the same thing.
I knew what the ending was when I saw the trailer.
But that's what I'm saying. And I didn't see many trailers for Secret Window when it came out. But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between a good movie and a bad movie to me is if it's a bad movie and it's so obvious that I don't have to think about it and just go, I know where this is going, then that's a bad movie to me. But this wasn't that to me is what I'm saying. So, So now, Kit, what were you saying? Now that I
don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
But, like, here's what happened. I saw the trailer. I was like, okay, this is what's going to happen. But then as I was watching the movie in the first, 5-10 minutes, I'm going like, okay, this has become too obvious. They're going to have some other kind of twist in the movie of some sort that I'm not going to expect so much. And that was the moon ending, which actually... not ending, but the moon twist. The movie moon. Like, that I didn't expect. That kind of got me. The whole... Richard, you know what I'm talking about? You look confused.
No. Just proceed.
Okay, well, the whole part with the moon ending thing...
Richard doesn't know what moon is.
I know, but I thought we talked about it enough, you got it. When he crashed into the radiated zone.
Okay.
You remember what happened?
When you got confused, that was the moon.
Do you remember what happened? Don't vocalize. It's like you remember what happened.
We don't need footage and audio.
Anyway,
of Richard working this out in his head. Okay. So.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to single you out. More or less, that part I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed
Chris Hardwick. Singled out.
Shut up. I enjoyed that. I thought it was a good. I thought it was a nice twist. Shut up. I enjoyed the twist. I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, it was a good show. I thought it was good too.
I did ask questions throughout the whole movie, which kind of led to the whole point of the shit I'm about to bring up a bit.
That was good. That was good stuff.
I liked it. It was very sci-fi. I think that Tom Cruise did a good job,
and they had that board, and they made people walk behind it.
Tom Cruise did.
No, I'm talking about Single Out.
Stop talking about Single Out. No one watched that. Except for Jenny McCarthy, Carmen Electra,
Chris Hardwick.
I saw episodes of it.
Yeah, alright.
And everyone pushed around Carmen Electra, and then when Jenny McCarthy came, she pushed him around too. Anyway, this movie, this show.
For not watching it, you had a lot of information.
Did you watch the Singled Out behind the scenes?
I watched the Singled Out Spring Break episodes. But regardless.
Oh man, remember when MTV used to do Spring Break and shit? That's completely off
topic. They had Jerry Springer. But shut up!
Who was that fat guy? He was he's on fucking FX now.
Dave. He was second place for the
Dave Holmes.
VJ.
Yeah, Dave Holmes.
Yeah.
He's great.
He should have won because Jesse sucked.
Yeah, Jesse was a crackhead who had a good conversation with Tori Amos. That was it.
No, he sucked. He was
He proved if you do a lot of heroin, you can get famous.
He won because people are stupid. That's
people
why he
felt
won.
sorry for
Dave
him.
Dave Holmes should have won.
And he had a good
Dave Holmes won in spirit
because he's still working.
He still has a job.
Better question.
I think Jesse is headed over.
Better question. Where's Jesse now?
Dead. He's
probably.
Dead.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He had a band. What was the band called?
Jesse and the Rippers. Jesse and the Rippers. I don't know.
It was not Uncle Jesse and the Rippers. That was the Full House band.
That was his rock band name.
Jesse had his own banner. I remember that shit. Richard in the information.
No, it was. It was bad. It doesn't matter.
Looking it up. All right. Well, Richard's looking it up.
So back to Oblivion while Richard's looking that up.
The tech I thought was awesome. The main plot I thought was interesting. The whole idea that the aliens attacked the moon first, and they blew up the moon, and the moon messed up the gravitational force.
Well, no, that's
important.
That goes. I don't think they really are they blew up the moon. Why the fuck did they blow up the moon? Because they fucking did.
Did you see the Time Machine?
Jules Verne?
No, Time Machine with Jules
Same
Verne.
thing. This
Jules Verne Time Machine, but this one came out a few years ago with Guy Pearce.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the movie.
It was a similar thing.
Orlando Jones.
They blew up the moon,
in a period
and the moon fucked up the gravitational force.
It takes place over many periods. So
yeah, it was a good idea. Fuck up the moon. All humans had were shuttles.
This is falling apart.
Well, all humans had were shuttles. right? I mean, like they came.
Well, we're not talking about the time machine.
No, I mean, I'm not talking about the time machine. I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about Oblivion. At the time that they got attacked by the aliens called the Scavs, the only ships they had were shuttles. So pretty much like they blew up the moon, knowing that they couldn't do goddamn fuck about it. And,
Jesse and the 8th Street Kids.
Shut up. They fucked up the moon. The moon like messed with the gravitational force of the Earth, and there caused a bunch of earthquakes. And like they let nature take care. They let science take care of itself. Destroy the moon. The Earth will be fucked up. Drop our drop troops, and that's what they did. And
We're going on way too long about this.
It worked good.
Do you have a point?
Yeah, it worked. It made sense to me.
Okay.
All right.
So
I enjoyed.
you enjoyed the movie because it made sense.
All right, fine. I enjoyed the movie.
We gotta have some talks about
here's
this.
quick things about it real quick. When they
Quick about you.
in the tower when they were in the pool above the clouds.
Yes.
That shit
That was
is
a bitchin'
below. That was
pool.
like freezing. They should not
was
have
really
some of that
heated.
shit.
Okay.
There was no steam.
That
That
was
was bullshit.
that-
No,
the way that was
shut
shot
up.
was
No
so great,
commentary. Just let me blow through these so I can just finish. Okay?
Don't comment about how wrong it is. Just let him spill a bunch of bullshit.
Stop being like my first sexual experience and just let me finish. Okay. The pool shit was bullshit. They were above the clouds. That should not have fucking happened. That water would have been too cold.
It's a sci-fi.
I'm gonna throw it out.
Oh
Shut up.
God.
Let him finish.
It's sopping
Be
wet.
like his puncture repair woman.
Too
I'm
cold.
sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That is bullshit. Don't get me wrong.
Is there anything
Okay.
else that you would like to say, Kat?
I mentioned it, Richard. His partner, Vika, her eyes. She always looked fucking high. Her pupils were huge.
I'll
They
give him
were
that.
very dilated.
I'll give him that.
for most of
Did you
the
notice
movie.
that?
There was
Yeah.
nothing wrong.
No.
I cut.
I will
No,
give
I
him.
didn't-
I will give him that. Her
Oh.
pupils were very dilated
Yeah.
in two scenes.
Once he did point that out, I did see that. I
No,
noticed.
I
they
looked at her pupils
I'm-
like,
oh.
is she high?
I'm glad you
Is that
guys
what
don't
she's
talk to
doing the
me
whole
when
time?
I'm watching the movie because I would just get pissed off.
That's
if
why I
he was
turned to
telling me
Richard,
shit.
not you.
Yeah, good.
Because her
Because-
pupils were wide.
I got him on that. There were a few scenes where I was like, "Shit, bitch, what you on?"
she was fucking high.
It wouldn't be the lighting of the scene or anything.
No, like they'd show her pupils really this, and then they cut to Tom Cruise pinpoints,
Yeah,
and it was really weird.
be
Yeah,
not
yeah,
nearly,
like-
'cause
be
he
not
said that-
nearly
he said-
as dilated.
No, he said that to me, and I'm like,
Oh my
I don't
God.
get weird. Well, he said it to Richard.
What?
Richard passed it down. I'm like, I don't get that. And all of a sudden, they showed the scene, and she was like, "Bam!" Like fucking
Most of
black
her eye, yeah.
black eyelids. And then all of a sudden, they cut
This
to Tom Cruise, and he had like little tiny pinpoints.
And then they
I'm
brought
like,
in the next chick.
and I was like,
Stupid.
"Oh,
They
okay,
brought in
this
Julia.
is
And
stupid."
she's like, yeah.
No,
That was
What
weird
are we
shit.
talking about?
It is stupid. But I'm saying, like, I didn't.
That was noticeable.
I didn't
That-
think
that
What
was
are we
true.
talking about?
That affected my movie experience.
It was. He's got a legitimate thing. She was probably very high. I want to be fucking stoned in my mind if I had to direct
All
this movie too.
right. Jamie Lannister's appearance, fucking awesome. I was like,
And completely
that's
pointless.
Jamie Lannister on the screen.
Actually, you didn't tell it to
Yeah.
me because I knew who Jamie Lannister
Well, also
was.
they got Jamie Lannister to be a very bit character. He doesn't really do anything.
Big character.
He
with
shoots a
some-
few robots, and
Okay,
then he
First
has
of
a
all,
beard.
First
And
of
the
all,
wind, he has that gay fucking wind
Okay,
knot
He
shit. in his
paints
face.
his red.
first of all,
Wow. Not
okay.
important.
Well, this was probably, okay. First of all, it's not like
First
he
of all,
is
just
a-
keep saying first of all.
Yes, I
seven
will
more
keep
times.
saying first of all.
Four
He's
more times.
He's not a big
Wait,
name.
One more first of all.
It's not like this is some big name actor that
If
you
you
guys
don't
are
say
talking
first of
about.
all, I'm going to ignore it.
I just mentioned in the beginning that Melissa Leo won a fucking Oscar, like, what, 2 years ago? And all she does is bit parts. But all of a sudden it's Jamie fucking Lannister. And you guys are like, oh, what does he do? He just has this little bit part and it doesn't matter. Well, okay, but he's not a huge name at this point. And he wasn't even, like, in Season 2 of Game of Thrones that much. So it's not like he, he has,
I
like,
just
all
enjoy
this
that
awareness.
He looks exactly like he does now. He's got the beard. He's got like the
Well, yeah.
stupid hair, and he's just
Well,
kind of
so he
like
does
because
shit.
that
he's like
fits in.
Jamie Lannister.
Okay,
in
because
leather.
that fits in with both time periods. Post-apocalyptic, you're not gonna like be full shaving and everything.
Huh.
Being a prisoner in like medieval times, you're not gonna be shaving and
Well, no,
shit.
I'm
You're
saying-
gonna look the same.
Well, I'm
So
saying
Morgan
it's funny
Freeman in
to-
the beard then.
It's funny to draw it right now because he's on the movie and he's in the show. You could draw like this actor.
Jamie Lannister doesn't wear future
stealth.
No.
I'm just saying this
armor.
actor and this like they're in both things. They're in both things, and they both are apparently the same.
I love
one's in leather, one's in stupid armor, and like a peasant, but they both look the exact same, and it's very funny just because he's like, I'm a prisoner and I've got this beard. And he's like, I'm a post-apocalyptic future soldier and I have this beard. It's kind of funny. Just, like I just think it's funny that he's.
All right. I also love that we're avoiding his name like the plague. Like nobody wants to try to say it.
I don't know his name.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I think so.
Is that a hyphened name?
Nikolai.
I think it is.
Is it Nikolai? Like
it's Coster hyphen.
So he married.
Last point.
His wife's name,
last point.
No, it's probably isn't he like Swedish or something? What is the Night Watch and Day Watch movies? What country
Russian.
Are they from?
German?
Those are Russian.
I didn't think they were Russian.
No, the Night Watch, Day Watch.
Oh, well, then it's Russian or whatever. I don't know.
All right. Last thing I had to say was.
He in one of those?
I think he's in both. Never mind. That's not what we're talking about.
Let's talk about Kit's stupid opinion.
Hey, you thought it was a good opinion when I said something that meant something to you.
No,
anyway, Morgan Freeman's epic tale of what the fuck happened. I was there when he talked about it.
If Morgan Freeman says anything, you're there.
I know!
He's the best narrator ever!
Oh, first they destroyed the moon, and then they dropped...
Oh, shit!
And then they dropped the troops, and we told us the troops.
Fuck.
I was like, I can imagine that! I can't say it because of spoilers, but
dude,
I can imagine
Morgan
it.
Freeman could read the dictionary and you'd be in it.
Fuck yeah!
So it's okay.
The day Morgan Freeman dies, like the day James Earl Jones dies. Is he dead yet?
What the fuck?
Richard, look it up.
I'm pretty sure James Earl
still alive.
Jones is still with us.
Yeah, he just won like one of those honorary Oscars.
Then he's got to do more movies with voiceovers and shit.
Yeah. He probably doesn't want to. He's probably part retired or whatever. Maybe he'll come back for Star Wars.
Regardless, I thought Oblivion,
I don't know why, but
I will not.
Oblivion I thought was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
This is like the worst.
It's what I expected it to be. You said that plenty of times. It's what I expected it to be. Explosions, mystery, sci-fi, cool science.
And you got Tom
Morgan Freeman. It worked for me. It gave me a huge nerd
boner.
rager.
I knew he was going to say
no, he said boner. I said narrator.
Well, whatever.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't.
So Tom
rub
Cruise
against
gave Kid a boner.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
it was a good movie to him.
I would say if you love sci-fi, no boredom needed, but otherwise, little boredom needed, maybe.
I think if you don't like sci-fi, you still enjoy it.
Yeah, well,
that's why I said no boredom needed if you love sci-fi, because...
No, I mean, if you didn't love sci-fi...
Oh, you still think it's no boredom needed?
I think you still get entertainment out of it, yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't say you couldn't, I just said a little... Oh, okay.
Boredom-wise?
I liked it.
Yeah, I'm bored-ish.
I was trying to incorporate the title of the show in here.
Well, I thought we decided on 1 through 5.
You are ruining everything.
No, as if you're a sci-fi fan, it's a go see it. I mean, there's not a lot of stuff in the theater right for now. Apparently, I've missed all the sci-fi movies. We're gonna be saturated in this market in the summer, but for now, it's probably your best sci-fi bet. And I'd say, if you're a sci-fi fan, go for it.
This is a summer movie in April.
You're not gonna be surprised.
Does Iron Man
it's a decent movie.
Somewhat. I mean, there are sci-fi elements to Iron Man, obviously.
Can't sci-fi anything.
I was gonna say also too. I mean, it might also work as a date movie because Tom Cruise interacting with his wives, I guess we could say.
Okay, I don't
his
know.
Partners. I mean, those are probably the most awkward movements to film for Tom Cruise being a homosexual man.
I didn't get any
God
of that.
damn it! You keep bringing that up, don't you?
Yeah, this is like.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not offended. I'm just annoyed that you kept you're bringing that up every time.
It's funny.
It's like me bringing up Richard. You're having a pink drink,
beating a dead horse over there. That's all.
See how that works?
Jeez,
it's weird.
Anyway, so what were you saying, Richard? It's good.
Though.
You liked it, or you didn't like it, or it's a good date movie, whatever you're saying.
I wasn't a big fan, but I'm sure it could also work as a date movie, though, too.
Richard's not a big fan, but he'd probably get a handy J afterwards.
Any movie.
I figured during.
Technically, any movie can work as a date movie.
During. I think Richard's clever enough to cut a... I figure Richard is clever enough to have a knife and cut a hole in the bottom of a popcorn box.
Wow.
This is... I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
I know,
extra butter.
I have to after all this.
No?
Oh my gosh.
Alright.
I'm sorry.